Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Webhead Podcast, where we talk about almost everything in pop culture in today's world. My name is Ryan Walsh.
And I'm Quinn Mullaney.
And we're your hosts, and we're going to be talking about some awesome topics today. And of course, there's just a ton of stuff about the Disney streaming service that are coming out. So we're really going to be talking about, right off the top, a Rogue One spin-off, prequel, whatever you want to call it. There's supposed to be a series that's just a prequel to Rogue One on the Disney streaming service. Quinn, what do you think about this?
So I don't think that they could have picked a better actor than Diego Luna, because I absolutely loved him in Rogue One. So it's pretty exciting for me to see this kind of news come out. I don't like how they're pitching it as a Rogue One prequel, because I don't feel like Rogue One is one of those movies you make a prequel or a sequel to.
Yeah.
So I don't like how they're saying oh, it's a Rogue One prequel. It's like, why are you saying that? Why aren't you just saying it's a Cassian Andor series? You know what I mean? That to me is the one thing that's being really nitpicky about it, though. But other than that, like I said, I really liked his character. I liked the kind of rebel spy thing that he was, and when we first see him in the movie, he's doing some really questionable things, and he's not a good character. So I think he's a really, really interesting character for them to really kind of pry open and make a series out of. So to me, this is awesome news.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the same way. And I Rogue One prequel sounds, I understand what they're doing. That's not going to be the whole premise of the show. They're just saying that, hey, it's probably going to be right before Rogue One happens.
Yeah.
I don't think, if they do roll with that whole, it's going to be a Rogue One prequel.
Yeah.
That's a horrible idea in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not.
Rogue One was really good.
Yes.
But yeah, don't do a prequel. Yeah. Don't do a prequel to it at all. That's just, you can take some characters and, do a story with it.
I don't want them to take any of the characters from Rogue One. I'd rather they didn't even...
Oh, you don't?
I don't want to see, because how are they going to do that? What if Chariot just shows up one day and is, what's going to happen? I just didn't remember you that time? What is he, just going to bump his head and have, a memory thing? I think that's just, so... That's exactly what I don't want to happen. I want it to just be fresh, new cast, new everything. The only character that I would tolerate is K8.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I would like to see that, too.
He's funny. I like Alan Tudyk. I think that's how you say his name. I mean, that's the one character I would tolerate, but even him, I'd prefer... No, I'd prefer just total new story. Don't make any of these weird little retcons. Don't do that kind of stuff. That stuff's annoying to me. I don't like keeping track of all that kind of stuff. I want it to be fresh. Just let this character be this character. And I feel like he's better off like that.
I could see the characters I could see showing up are basically the same. Yeah, what was his name? K2SO or something like that? Forget what the robot's name was.
Yeah.
The droid's name.
K2SO. No, I think it's K8S20. No, maybe you're right.
Something. Some numbers. But, I could see him showing up for sure, and that'd be a great idea. I couldn't see, I forget what her name was, the lead, but you know who I'm talking about. The lead in the Rogue One, the lead actress.
It's funny because I remember her nickname of Stardust, but I can't remember her name.
Yeah, Stardust.
It's,
Perfect.
Jin? No, not Jin.
Yeah, Jyn Erso, that's it.
Jyn Erso, yeah. Jin.
Don't have her in it. I don't even want the other rebel guy in it. Unless you take K2SO and who was it? Yeah, the rebel guy. I forget what his name is. There's so many names I forget from that movie. Who?
Oh, you mean the
main rebel guy.
He's a spy. Oh. Wow.
Him and if you take those two...
Oh my god, that's killing me right now. I know what you're talking about. The character...
Yeah, I know. I'll look it up on IMDb, actually, real quick.
I'm going to beat you to
Let's
it.
See.
I'm going to go for it. Wow.
Now it's a race.
He's played by,
I'll put Rogue in.
Oh, I typed in Rogue wrong. No, I'm cracking under the pressure here. His name is...
Let's see. It is Cassian. That's it.
Oh, Cassian?
Yeah, Cassian.
No,
I
that's
think
that's
that
that's
if you
who
have
the
Cassian,
story is about. It's not Cassian.
yeah,
That's
Cassian.
yeah, but that's what the thing is about. It's about Cassian.
Wait, really?
Yes.
How did I miss that?
I don't know, dude. The character I'm talking about is Saw Gerrera. Who did you think it was?
Saw Gerrera you're talking
Saw
about.
Gerrera is the main. So it's Saw Gerrera is the rebel leader. Bodhi's the pilot, right? Chariot's the guy with the stick basically, and then K2SO. You were right. Is
That's right, Donnie. Yeah.
Yep. And then Boz is the guy with the big machine gun. Those are all.
Okay, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Why am I was blanking on every character.
Yeah, you really were.
So Cassian is the lead in this.
Cassian's the lead. This is about Cassian before the events of it, which if you remember, he's a rebel spy. And he's one of the most interesting characters, I think, because one of his best lines is, if the rebellion died now, there are things that I just could not walk away from. Like,
they did set it up.
He's a great character.
Now it makes a lot of sense.
And I loved him. He was like, everything I did it for a cause that I believed in. And it's like, the things I've done, like, I can't face if it's for nothing. So, like, that's why I really like him in this, particularly. But I don't want to see, like, Cheery or Boz just show up one day and be like, oh, hey, we're not going to remember each other when, it matters most. But, like, I always think that stuff is just really ridiculous. Or Bodhi. You know what I mean?
They're not going to show up. They're not going to show up at all. And that's what I was thinking. So I thought it was just going to be like I thought they were just saying that it was going to be some random, they're going to take a storyline and they're going to put it right before Rogue One.
No.
That's what I thought they were going to do.
This is all about Cassian.
So that makes a lot more sense because they did set that up big time in the first movie.
Yeah, there's plenty to go off of with him. Plenty.
Yeah. That makes K2SO is definitely going to show up.
Probably. I would imagine.
Oh yeah, he sells toys.
Yeah.
With Disney, you got to sell those toys.
He sells toys.
You know it's true. That's how it is.
I do know it's true.
And that's why you have those porgs in The Last Jedi. Got to make money. Got to make all that money.
Oh my god, the porgs.
And then what is it? So I say Cassian.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be about him. K2SO is 100% going to be in it. I don't see any other character except for Saw Gerrera being in it.
Yeah, that's the other one, Saw.
Well, actually...
And then the leaders of the rebellion.
But Saw Gerrera wasn't even... He's a little connected to the rebellion. They did tease that, hey, Saw Gerrera was kind of with the rebellion a little bit, too.
Yeah, he was.
So
he was with it, and then he split. Yeah. He was a splinter group.
So, and he was also... Saw Gerrera was also in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, he's a big character in that.
So, and I never watched, for people that know this, I never really watched the Clone Wars all the way through. I've seen a couple episodes here and there. I could actually get back on that,
I've wanted to do that for so long, but it's just it's kind of old now is the thing, too, which is sad, because it is a really good show.
And it's super long.
But it's so long, man.
Yeah, it's like 6 seasons, isn't it?
Oh, really? I thought it was,
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
I'm not sure. I'm going to look it up for you right now while you're talking.
But, I could definitely see a series out of this. I think it's actually a really good idea because they 100% set it up like that. But, it doesn't excite me as much as the Mandalorian TV show does.
Really?
I think the Mandalorian one does because it's different. One, it's different. We haven't seen that kind of stuff in Star Wars and the movies or... say a TV series or anything like that. We haven't really gotten a central focus on the Mandalorians. I really want to see something like that. Also, Jon Favreau being attached to it, that I'm really excited for. So with this, I'm like, it's okay. Like, I guess it sounds cool.
Yeah.
But, I wish they did some other things with Star Wars. I wish that they more, expanded the universe, like with the Mandalorian thing.
Yes.
Did completely different stuff than do characters we've already seen in movies. I think this is a character that you open up with a little more down the line with the streaming service, Yeah. And not do it right now. It's kind of like a Han Solo thing.
Right.
No one asked for it. Nobody really wanted this.
Yeah, but I think people will watch it. And you...
Oh, yeah, people will watch it. I'll watch it. I'll be the first one in the lineup to watch it. You know what I mean? But I just don't think this is one of the things that like I was thinking of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was thinking more
building upon
do some Mandalorian or even do some Jedi stuff. You know,
there's surprising lack
no Anakin
of Jedi stuff, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Like Star Wars is a huge universe, but still, like, come on, Jedis are awesome. I want to see some Jedi stuff. You know, it'd be really cool if they did something. Have you ever played The Force Awakens or not The Force Awakens? The Force Unleashed video game.
Force Unleashed, yeah.
If they did a storyline based on maybe something like that, or they could do it just a Sith like storyline. You know what I mean? Just all about the Sith.
Yeah.
I would like to see something like that. That's something I'm interested in.
I would very much like to see something with the Clone Wars as well. I think that's a topic that, like... I mean, I guess they've done, like, the Clone Wars show. But, you know, like, why not do, like, Jedi in the Clone Wars?
Yeah, but, see, this is what I think would be really cool with Clone Wars is, you know, have something set up in the Clone Wars, just not following Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, all the classic heroes. Because that's what Clone Wars was. That's what the prequels were.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, same time period, something different.
Yeah. That would be really cool. You know what I really want to see? Oh, by the way, you were right. So it's 6 seasons. They have, on average, 20 to 22 episodes per season. So it's...
Oh my god.
It's pretty lengthy. But it looks like they might have a season 7 planned for 2019 as well.
Yeah, that's right. They do. They announced that.
Yeah, I did not hear about that.
I think it was at Comic-Con this year.
That is very interesting, because I thought they were totally done with it.
People love that, you know, people love that series, and I can't speak from experience, but... Yeah, so, like, honestly, that's why I wanted to originally start it back up.
Yeah.
Because I think it's on Netflix. If I'm
not... It was.
Like, I remember last time I looked, it was on Netflix.
But it was.
That's disappointing if it's not. Because then I can't watch it.
I don't know, I haven't seen it on there.
I have to go pay for it. I don't want to pay for it.
A little bit, but I mean, I don't know why they would remove it. You know, they don't... Usually when it's, like, G-rated shows, they usually just stay on there forever.
Well, I mean, with the whole streaming service coming out,
true.
Disney definitely wants to get the rights back from
the properties. Very true.
Just like, was it DC's trying to get, you know, the Flash, and say like all that off of Netflix and put it on their streaming service, but they have to wait a while because they have a contract with Netflix. Yeah. So it's similar to that. But yeah, I'm interested. Yeah. I just don't think it's the best idea. But
yeah,
I'm a little interested in it. But there's also some more Disney streaming stuff that has been announced as well, and there are stuff on, say, Loki. I remember Loki came out today. I know this. I'm kind of springing this on you, Quinn, but there is so Tom Hiddleston did comment on the Loki stuff today. I just recalled from Twitter, and he literally said that. He basically just tweeted out there's a lot more to come of Loki, a lot more stories, a lot more mischief. That gets me excited for it, because it's like, sweet. There's going to be, you know, like, obviously he's excited to do it. He obviously loves being Loki.
He's really made that role his own, you know?
Yeah, and I'm just excited. I'm excited for more Loki. I love Loki. So, and I want to see the storylines they're going to do with him, you know?
This is awesome news for me particularly, because I don't know if you remember this, Ryan, but we've had this conversation before where I told you that I liked the original Thors because I liked the original Asgard. You remember how we were talking about how like, oh, everybody loves Thor Ragnarok because it's not what Thor was. I loved what Thor was. I loved how Marvel kind of had its own little pocket universe in this sort of mystical world of Asgard and the Nine Realms and Niflheim and all these different things. I really was interested in that. Yep. So for me, this is awesome because this means I don't have to wait for the movies to maybe go back to that because it looks like they're not going to. I now have the Loki. I now have the Loki series to do all that stuff for me. So like, I hope it's literally like Loki like traveling the Nine Realms, just destroying them and absolutely making them horrible places to live. Like. I know. Right? Like, I was starting to think about it, and I'm getting more and more excited for this. The more I'm hearing about it, and the more kind of comes about.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really cool, and I think we are going to go back to that, what Asgard was and everything. So I think you will see that stuff. And it has to be a prequel. There's no way it's a future thing unless Avengers 4 reveals something huge and Loki comes back, which a lot of people are theorizing, but I don't see that happening. He had a great death.
He had a terrible death.
Keep him dead.
His death was awful.
Oh
he couldn't even get to the neck.
That's what you focused on?
He missed.
You didn't even hear what he said? He called himself Odin's son, dude. That's like a huge thing.
He did? I totally missed that.
He called himself Odin's son. Yeah, he was like rejected all of those movies. Like he felt rejected.
I mean,
he felt
Loki,
like, you know,
like,
he felt
the
like
thing
he was
about
on
Loki
his
is
journey.
that I always just assume he's lying about everything.
He like, what's it? Like in the first movie, remember he found out he was adopted. That's pretty traumatizing to a dude that's already like fully grown, and he's like, oh my god, I'm adopted? Everything I know is a lie? That's pretty big. And then like, you know, Dark World, or Avengers, he goes to try to take over Earth, fails. And it's just like a complete dark path, and then all of a sudden with Ragnarok, it kind of brings him back around. And then he calls himself Odinson. And like he's just like, I am your brother, you know? It's like a pretty good moment between Thor and him. You know, there's a lot of people that do think that, and I wouldn't be surprised. He's a great character.
It's not even that. Like, it's just like the way he died, like, to me is something that, like, Loki would fake. Like, everything about it, to me, screams like, But, you know, we're not gonna... I mean, maybe this will be what the service is about, you know? It's about how he is cheated death and is no longer in the movies and all that kind of stuff.
Except he cheats his death, you know, like every movie. So I just don't think they're gonna do it again, because that's kind of like you did it again.
But like if he, like I'm so used to it now that like if you don't do it, it's kind of like, what do you mean you didn't do it? Why didn't you do it? You always do it.
Yeah, but like why did Thanos say no resurrections this time? Like this, he was like, yo, this dude's dead.
I mean, like
this guy's dead. He's not coming back.
That's what they all said.
That's true.
He's not coming back this time, and then, you know...
That's true.
And credit scene, he's back. Like,
I know,
this
right?
is Loki. It's what he does.
It's like a little green light in the background. It's like, oh, great, he's back.
That's going to be your next video, Ryan.
They didn't kill
it's
him.
Be collecting all the green lights in MCU movies. And then it's going to be, like, somewhere in there is going to be a clue. Like, at the end of Avengers, there's a little green light at the end of it. Loki!
You know that's
going to get
happen.
the Infinity Gauntlet.
They're going to do something like that.
That's how it is. That's how it's going to go.
You know what would be awesome? If he got the Infinity Gauntlet, and then he blew up because it was too much power for him. And that was actually his death. I would like to see that. That would be a great end credit scene. Boom. He just pops.
Like Kamina?
I could see it happening.
Whatever her name was. I could see it.
But, of course, with, like with all the streaming stuff, there's a lot of streaming stuff coming too.
Yeah. So
Disney.
They were talking about,
and honestly...
what is it? How they're doing it, right? And it looks like the interface is going to be split up into networks.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really nice, because honestly, like, I probably won't watch anything on the Disney network. But I didn't know that there was going to be National Geographic stuff on it. That was news to me.
It seems like they're making DC look bad right now. You know, DC streaming service. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the streaming service so far. But, like, when you're thinking about... I mean, we have to see the price for it first. But say this comes out and it's the same price as Netflix. Or it's the same price as DC streaming service. This is going to make the DC streaming service look really bad.
Yeah, it really
because they don't have nearly as much content.
So here's where I differ from you on that. Because I think the DC streaming service, for a comic book fan, has way more content. Realistically, like, I'm probably not going to watch any of the Pixar stuff. Because it's going to be for kids. Like, you know, it's fine.
Pixar stuff?
Dude,
are you serious?
I mean, the only thing they have set up right now, realistically, is an animated series set in Monsters, Inc. Like, think about that. Really think about that. Like, do you think that's going to be for, like... Do you think that, like, me, a 22-year-old, is going to watch that? Like, consistently?
Have you ever seen a Pixar movie?
I've seen a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
But a Pixar show?
Uh-huh. But I mean, to be fair, look at how much they're putting behind the Star Wars stuff, and look how much they're putting behind the Marvel stuff. I doubt they're gonna really lack with Pixar. Pixar is huge.
I don't think that like a Pixar series is gonna be like something I'm gonna continuously watch. I just don't. I don't think it's gonna be like amazing. Because Pixar makes good movies.
I mean,
that doesn't mean they make good shows or anything like that. Whereas I've seen Star Wars make good shows. I've seen it. You know, Marvel, but they put so much behind it, you know. But we don't know like what the, Monsters Inc. series is going to be about. So that's what I'm saying. Like, on the DC side of it, I get movies and comics and TV shows. Now, granted, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Marvel TV shows are probably going to be better from the DC ones, simply because there's more money behind it. I mean, clearly from like the sound of it, there's more money behind it. Which, is fine, but like, the comics to me is a huge part of the DC streaming service. Huge part of it. And we don't know if this Disney streaming service is going to have old movies yet, or if it's just going to be originals. Or do we know that?
No, I'm pretty sure they said that there's going to be a lot of, older movies and stuff like that on there. So, all that stuff is going to be on there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll probably even have all the Star Wars movies.
That would be pretty cool to have all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know why they wouldn't.
All the Star Wars movies like 3 times over.
But it's just like, you got Star Wars and you got Marvel on there.
You're right. So I think like
already
the price thing is going to be the one thing that really is that's what I was really looking for in this news that we didn't really get is what is the price point for this a month? Because DC streaming service is pretty cheap. I'm not going to lie. It's like $7 or $8 a month.
How much is Netflix?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even pay for my Netflix.
Let's see. I think it used to be. I think it's like $10-12.
It's gone up and down so many times. Netflix. Join for free month.
Now it's $13.99 per month.
See the plans. Okay, so there's.
That makes sense.
Basic, standard, and premium.
Premium? What the heck is on premium?
That's the $13 a month one. 4 streams at one time.
So for what basic people are going to buy?
Yeah.
Basically HD, like probably what I would purchase for Netflix. Because I think most of it is... I mean, like, my definition of Netflix is that there's stuff that you want to see.
Yeah.
And then there's everything else that's just kind of there and it's kind of garbage.
True.
No offense to Netflix.
True.
But it's basically true. Like, if you really deep dive into Netflix, there's not that much stuff that's really amazing on it.
So, interestingly enough, you can get Netflix for as low as $8 a month. But you can only watch on one screen at a time, and you don't get HD, which is, like, weird. But
you might as well not even buy it.
Yeah, you might as well, like, what? I'll just watch it online. Thank you very much. And then standard's about $11 a month. You get HD. You don't get Ultra HD, which is, nonsense, whatever. And you can watch unlimited movies and TV, blah, 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 blah. 2 screens at one time. So I guess like the $11 a month would be what most people would have, I'm guessing, for Netflix. And then, so DC streaming service. I'm just going to look up the price right now. $8 a month, and then you can get it for $75 a year.
Jeez. Yeah, no, I mean, I have a feeling that it's going to come in about probably like right where Netflix is.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's probably going to be like $10 or $11 a month. That would make sense to me, and I'd probably. I don't know if I would.
Oh, I'd pay for that.
Yeah, I'd pay for that.
Oh, I would. I would 100%. Oh, Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorians is gonna get me in the end.
Like that sells me. Loki, Scarlet Witch, and now it's like supposed to be. They're also thinking about Falcon and Winter Soldier spinoff series.
Yeah,
that 100% gets me. I will 100% get that. And now we're going to talk about some awesome brand new Aquaman posters that just came out. And I gotta say, we're so close to Aquaman. I'm getting really excited about this, but these posters, in my opinion, look amazing. Quinn, what do you think about these, and which poster really stands out to you?
So, I love these posters, and I love seeing more stuff about Aquaman. I can't get enough of it. I like how a lot of these are the classic look. For an example, like we're getting Aquaman in the classic look. We're getting Mira in the classic look. Queen Atlanta in the classic look. It's really cool to see Volko for the first time, like face on, just like what he's gonna be like. And I gotta say, he looks pretty badass. And I like how he looks like, you know, not really like your average Atlantean, but like an Atlantean. Whereas like, well, I guess they all look Atlantean now. And I'm really excited about the King Nereus poster because we haven't really heard about him or seen him in the trailers yet. And he's essentially, he's Mirror's father, and he's the king of one of the rival kingdoms to Atlantis. In the comics, they're not Atlantis. They're not part of Atlantis at all. But it sounds like in the movie that Atlantis is going to be a collection of kingdoms with kind of like one king to rule them all sort of thing, which is Orm. Orm's probably like, I mean, he's got kind of like a badass pose in this, but his costume is probably like the least interesting. And I really, really like the look of Black Manta in this. Because at first I didn't like it, but this kind of head on, like actually looking at it now, it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think, man, Black Manta blows me away. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
I am so excited to see Black Manta, and I cannot wait to see. I agree with you 100%. I am not for this King Orm poster, but I understand why they're keeping his costume held right now. Just like they're like, okay, we don't want to show every little thing. I'm surprised they're showing. Actually, you know what? I'm not. I was about to say that I was. I'm surprised they're showing Black Manta and they're not showing, King Orm and like Ocean Master, the Ocean Master costume.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a bigger Black Manta fan than say Ocean Master, but
yeah, true.
Still, the Ocean Master costume is amazing. You know what I just thought of too? I like how they're taking this idea of Atlantis and everybody's really wearing the same thing that Aquaman is.
Yeah, they all have the scale armor.
Yeah, he has that armor, but they all have some kind of scale uniform, whatever it is. Like they all do. Like it doesn't look like Mira has armor like she did in Justice League. Justice League, she had armor on. This one, it looks like it's just it's what the comic books were.
Yeah, and I love that. I like how I think the costume design here is really fantastic because it's like they all have like it's like Atlantis has its own style. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at it, and you really look at it, like, look at Mira and Atlanta. Their scales are more rounded and more hexagonal shaped. Like, they're bigger scales. Where if you look at the men, like Arthur and Volko, and even Nereus and Orm, their scales are smaller and more square. It's a really small detail, but it's kind of interesting how like all their kind of clothes really are like separate and different.
It's just like what they did with Man of Steel and like Kryptonians. Like they all have those suits on, like I like that they're doing the exact same thing because that is what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. And it gives more life into Atlantis, which is I think the coolest thing and the most exciting thing about Aquaman that we've seen from everything is how much is kind of jam-packed into this movie. Like, we're getting so much here. To be honest with you, I was content just to have an Aquaman movie with Mira in it. That to me was all I needed, because I love Mira. I think she's an awesome character. But I'm getting Queen Atlanta, which I never thought I would get. They're doing, the Lighthouse origin story, which, is kind of to be expected, but we're getting Volko, we're getting King Nereus. I can't even believe that we're getting two major villains in the same movie, too.
Yeah.
Which, like, normally I'd be like, space them out, do one at a time. But with the way DC's doing their movies, I don't want to run the risk of not getting Aquaman 2 and never seeing Black Manta. You know what I mean? So, like, for me, like, just taking these things, and even, like, Nereus riding the seahorse, or the sea dragon seahorse. It's just such classic Aquaman goodness that like is so stuffed into this film that I'm loving about it. And the more that we see, the more revealing and the more stuff that we get that are just out of Aquaman's lore book.
Yeah, exactly. And it's exactly what like a lot of DC fans are probably gonna be mad that I say this, but it's true. It's exactly what Marvel does. They completely they say they're just like, okay, what do the comic books look like? What do these characters look like in the comic books? Why do people love them? They put all that on screen, all the stuff that you really want to see for comic book fans, they put that on there. And the thing is, the general audience doesn't know it yet, but I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a really good movie, and this is going to be something that's really popular.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. Like, I really do. I really think this movie is going to hit it out of the park. I think people are going to love this movie. And, especially if they stay true to, like, Aquaman and what he's, especially that, like, New 52 run, which it looks like they are.
Yeah, it looks like they're taking a lot of stuff from that, which if you have not read, I think we've talked about it on the show, that is one of my favorite runs in comics. So good. You can read probably the first 3 volumes and be set. I would continue reading if I were you, but you probably will anyways. But if you're interested about these Aquaman movie and you want to know about a lot of the stuff that we talk about, those 3 runs will pretty much sum up a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and you'll think it's cool. It's very good.
Yeah, all of these characters are in it, and you get a lot of their backstory too.
Yeah, man, it just gets me more excited about the movie. It really does, and I cannot wait to see Ocean Master's full uniform, full costume on screen. They've teased it in some of the posters, just of like the mask, but God, it looks so cool.
I'm very excited for the mask. Yeah, man, it's like the amount of stuff we're getting every time. Like we look at it, there's a new thing to look at and to unpack and to take a look into. You know what I mean? Everything from like the Trench to the Fisherman King, to King Orm to Black Manta to Queen Atlanta. You know what I mean? It's like the more we hear about this movie, the more there is to it, and it's almost hard to believe that it's going to be. I mean, how long is this movie going to be?
I don't know.
Probably
it's going to be a little over 2 hours.
Has to be, right? Because like,
definitely.
There's so much in it.
I can't imagine this being less than 205. I'll give it.
Yeah. So I feel like that means either one of two things. Like either this movie's going to move through a ton of things really, really fast and not give it its due, or it's just going to be like a long movie. Which I have a good feeling about this movie going in. I think they've got a pretty good cast behind it. Pretty unique actors, especially in Jason Momoa.
Very good actors.
Yeah, and James Wan has a pretty good track record. He's coming from horror, right?
Yep.
So, similar in a sense of budget-wise, I would imagine, like in terms of hype and all that, but I'm not 100% sure that Wan is the choice for this, but I mean, from what I've seen, like, it looks amazing. And
I think he's the right choice. And he said he chose the project because he wanted a challenge. He's like, I could have done The Flash. I could have done, Green Lantern. I could have done all these other ones. He chose this one because he was like, that's going to be the hardest one.
Damn.
And he's right. This is the hardest one. But so wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy. It reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy when that was coming out.
Yeah, it really does remind you of Guardians. Is that this is the kind of movie that everybody's sleeping on. Everybody's expecting to be goofy and not really good. Yep. It's coming at a time where DC isn't being taken seriously. And it's all those things that are batting up against it, and still we're getting these awesome photos. We're getting this awesome look at it. It's still like fearlessly going ahead to the point where I can't wait. I really can't. The more I see it, the more I'm excited. I can't wait
to see everybody's face right after this. I can't. It's just like Guardians of the Galaxy.
You say that, Ryan?
A lot of you guys don't know this. A lot of you guys don't know this out there, but when me and Quinn went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time with a couple more of our friends, one of our friends sat next to me and Quinn, and he was not a comic book fan.
No.
He thought Guardians of the Galaxy looked stupid.
Yes, and we said, I remember that.
Cannot wait to see your face at the end of this movie. We had no idea what the movie was going to be like. We just had faith that they were going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Same thing with this one. I have total faith in this movie. Yeah. I could be dead wrong when the movie comes out. It could be terrible.
Here's the thing. At that time, like I always had faith, like, and I still have faith in this movie. But if it's bad, I am so scared for that, because if this movie isn't good, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'm just going to jump in a lake and drown myself and try to find it. I'm gonna go out into the ocean and find the real Atlantis.
Yeah, no.
That's what I'm gonna have to do by tying a brick to the end of my shoe and sinking down to the bottom of it. Because like I need this movie to be good because I am so excited for it. Even if it's just okay, I'm fine with that. It can be an okay movie. It doesn't have to be amazing, but it has to be good. No, it will be amazing though. It's gonna be good. Like everything we've seen looks so cool. I'm so ready for this movie.
Yeah, I'm very, very eager to see this one. But like, was it? If it's bad, I will say this. I don't think we're gonna be seeing a DCEU anytime. Like after this, I just don't see it really on track anymore. I see it really falling off.
I see it really. Yeah, I feel like
it's gonna be two things are gonna happen. Okay, there's two options. One, you get rid of the entire Justice League, everything you set up beforehand, all that Justice League stuff, even Wonder Woman. Maybe not Wonder Woman, but all that stuff. Get rid of it, and you focus on, you know, your Shazam, your Batgirl, your, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's something that is going to happen.
I feel like if this movie, I feel like if this movie's bad, they're just going to cash in on their guaranteed money value products. So it's going to be like Harley Quinn, another Suicide Squad, maybe a Constantine thing. Just the stuff that they know is going to make a quick buck. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like Marvel movies in, like, the early 2000s and the 90s, where they did, like, Blade Runner and Daredevil. You know, stuff that, like, at the time was just worked for it.
Blade?
What did I say?
Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah. No, I meant Blade. Like,
you're good. Don't worry.
Yeah, like, stuff that... Yeah, same thing. Vampires, replicants.
Futurists.
What's the difference?
No, but...
Like, just sure things. Like, I feel like they're gonna let go of everything else and just put out the sure things. You know what I mean? And that's, like, really disappointing. Because that age as a comic book fan was like, oh, that was cool, but I really wanted to see this. And that's probably one of the best things that Marvel is doing for their fans right now. It's like, they're giving you what you want to see. What you really wanted to see. So, like, if you're not going to continuously watch DC movies if they're just cashing in on their guaranteed money products. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember seeing actually recently that the movie wasn't supposed to make that much money opening weekend.
Aqua-man?
Yeah. But, I mean, to be honest with you, that's kind of to be expected.
To be expected. No.
I would be very surprised if it was supposed to make a boatload of money.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, I mean, how much did Guardians make its opening weekend?
I'm actually pretty sure a lot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was surprisingly...
Ant-Man was the only one that came in. Didn't make a ton of money, but, you know, for its budget and, like, what Ant-Man's supposed to be, it made a lot of money for that movie. You know, just like this one. Remember, this is not supposed to be a Infinity War. This is not supposed to be even a Captain America or a Thor movie or even Superman or Batman. This is Aqua-man. This is an Ant-Man or Guardians level movie.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, Guardians completely outperformed. It did amazing.
True.
This one could do the same, or probably this is more likely true because of DC's track record and how people feel about the movies. It's going to do probably Ant-Man numbers.
Right.
It's going to be...
slow start.
Either right at 100 million or like probably a little under 100 million that first weekend.
So it's going to have a slow start and then build up steam when people hear that it's good. And then for some reason it's going to do really well in China.
These movies always do very well in China. So, Fast and the Furious, no matter how bad those movies are,
does well in China.
They always do well in China. So
good old China.
There you go. But that's man. I think everybody just knows that me and Quinn are really excited for Aquaman.
Really excited for this movie. I'm so excited.
Now on to some Deadpool movie news, which I didn't think we were going to be talking about this early, but. Which is going to be a brand new Deadpool movie is going to come out. A brand new one. Already. And we got one in the summer. Quinn, are you excited for the brand new Deadpool movie? Completely new. A brand new thing.
Completely new?
It is completely new.
Totally new movie.
Never before seen.
No.
Not one scene of it.
No, you're sure this isn't like... They're taking a movie that was already made, right? re-editing it for an audience that didn't get to see it and putting it back in theaters. That's not what it is, cause
and making a completely
new Deadpool movie.
Once Upon a Deadpool is announced for. Let me actually look at the bottom of the poster.
December 12th.
See right over there. December 12th. December 12th. December 12th. It's coming out.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. A Christmas movie for the family.
Wow.
Because this one's going to be rated PG-13, just like every single Deadpool fan wants to see. And guess what? It's going to be Deadpool 2. Made in PG-13.
But remember, guys.
At least that's what it's supposed to be.
Remember, guys. Bob Iger promised that this wasn't going to happen.
That's right. The first day that the Disney and Fox deal was going through,
Bob
Iger said, don't worry, Deadpool's doing well. We're going to make sure that it's going to be rated R.
But it's not.
And you know what this is? And this actually kind of perfectly fits into my theory on this.
Yeah.
I do have a theory on this. This is Disney trying to make it seem like Fox is putting this out. I think that Disney is behind this, saying, hey, let's try out a Deadpool 2 that's PG-13. And let's see how a PG-13 Deadpool works.
You know,
if it works, people are going to... We can put it in the MCU. If it doesn't, we can't do the rated R Deadpool anymore.
You know,
that's my opinion. That's my theory.
If you look at this poster, the Fox is not on it. I'm not sure.
Is it?
I can see Marvel's logo, but I cannot see Fox's. There's another logo next to Marvel. To be honest, that might be it. But, like, it might be Fox, but I really can't tell. It literally just looks like a square.
It's 20th Century Fox.
You sure? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It is.
Because I was just looking at... Okay, yeah. Because it's
100%.
really small. But, yeah.
I wish it was Disney.
Oh, I wish. This is disgusting.
That would have been awesome.
This is disgusting. See, this is what I was talking about in a couple of podcasts ago, where the more mainstream Deadpool becomes, the worse it is for the character. But me and Ryan have already talked about this before. So we're going to stick with the poster for now. And it's just like, you know... It really is...
It's a good poster, I'll give it that.
I mean, it's a pretty funny poster. I like his little...
It's pretty good, I like it.
Thing, yeah. But, I mean, come on, guys. Like, we're really going to spin this like this is something new? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe...
That's what it seems like...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems like they're doing, and I actually don't like that. You know? Like, I get the poster, that's totally Deadpool, I understand completely, but they better come out with another poster that says, basically, that this is just Deadpool 2... Which it's supposed to be. Yeah. It is supposed to be Deadpool 2, just a PG-13 version of it. So it might be edited down, the swears might be blurred out. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be PG-13.
I'm starting to get sick.
It even has the rating down to the bottom.
Oh my god, this is starting to make me really sick. So. Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, like, I'd be okay with this, you know, because Deadpool, like, the movie-wise, I talked about this last time, was, like, kind of corny. Like, the premise was, like, a PG-13 movie. But now that I actually am, like, face-to-face with a PG-13 Deadpool movie poster, it's making me nauseous. It is really making me... I'm going to stop looking at it. I don't feel good at all.
I'm going to see it.
I'm going to go back to looking at the Aqua-man.
I'm going to see it. I'm going to check it out.
I think I'll go see it. I'm going to be
that sucker they get in the seat.
I think I'll go see it, but, like... I think I'm going to be nauseous at some points in that movie. That just really made me sick.
Imagine if it was a completely different movie and we had no idea what we were talking about. It's just a completely different movie. Everybody that's coming back to this podcast right now is looking at us and like, those idiots. Those idiots. Yeah. What are they doing? They think it's a... no, we're not wrong.
We're not wrong about this. we could be wrong about a couple of things. But this is... this is a load of crap.
Yeah, no, I'm not too happy about this. I am very against this. I don't think this is a good idea. I think that people are going to overlook this big time. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's just like, you know, they're just re-releasing the movie for kids, so kids can go see this. Oh. I think that's part of it, because that's what Disney does want. Yes. I think this was Disney's thing. I really do.
Absolutely.
And because why would you re-release this movie and make it PG-13? Why would you do that?
As Fox.
It makes no sense.
As Fox, who hit such a gold mine of making this movie rated R. Why would Fox...
There's no reason.
Yeah, Fox has no reason to go back on that. Because they knew, like,
Disney
okay,
has
if we do
every
this,
reason
we're
to
going to
do it.
make money. But if we do this, we're going to lose a lot of money. Like, I don't know. It really is kind of sickening to look at.
Yeah. And even Ryan Reynolds in his tweet, he's the one who tweeted this out. He said, the only F word in this movie is Fred Aaron Savage. So it's like...
Of course he would buy it, though. This is one of the reasons I didn't like Ryan Reynolds initially for the role, because he's kind of corny to me in a lot of ways. Like, he's good for Deadpool, don't get me wrong. He does a good Deadpool, but, like, a lot of his movies and a lot of things he does are usually kind of cheesy and kind of, like, rom-com-ish. And that is at the heart of the last two Deadpool movies. It's like a rom-com thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
Oh, really?
I really hate it. I really don't like it. And the fact that this movie is going to be PG-13 is just going to make it even more like it. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Ryan, but I'm looking at this photo and this poster, and it's really not sitting well with me anymore. I thought I would be able to be okay with this, Ryan, but I don't think I can do this anymore, man. I got to hit the button. Somebody's got to pull me out of this. You got to stop right now, because I can't do this anymore. I'm
reading a bunch of comments too. I'm reading a bunch of comments, and a lot of people do feel the same.
I can't do this anymore.
A lot of people are asking, like, "Oh my god, a new Deadpool movie?" And then somebody below them will be like, "Yeah, this is just the second one, just with reshoots."
Yeah.
And you know, like, no swearing
or blood.
And people are like, "That's dumb."
Yeah.
You know, and it is. It really is. Like, it's dumb.
It's
like,
very dumb, and it's obvious what they're doing.
There's definitely a lot of people that want to see that, you know, like, there's definitely, like, you know, if it was me, and say I was 16 years old, you know, and I couldn't go see a rated R movie by myself. Yeah, I'm upset that I can't go see Deadpool 2.
But you should be.
You know, I don't blame them at all. But, you know, that's not a reason, in my opinion. It's not a reason to completely make this movie PG-13. Yeah. There's just, you know, there's no way that Fox thought it is.
No. And the thing is...
There's no way.
So, the thing is that, like, I think right now, with superheroes, there's a pretty good audience range. Like, for an example, like, Spider-Man's more directed to preteens, kids. Whereas, like, Deadpool and X-Men are a little bit for a mature audience, right?
Yeah, it seems as though,
you know, like, generally speaking, it doesn't... I feel like that is a market that is kind of underrepresented, that now that you mention it, like, that 16-year-olds, you know, those teenagers who want something a little bit more graphic but aren't really allowed to see something graphic. That is kind of a market that that comic books used to fill that isn't really being filled by comic books anymore. Which is where, I guess, like, the idea behind...
Well, I mean, there's so many of them, you know? I mean, who isn't satisfied with Infinity War or something like that, you know?
True. But that's the thing, like, the Marvel movies anybody can watch. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I think that's why Venom was probably, like, a really good idea to make it PG-13, because there's obviously a demand for that kind of movie in superheroes.
Yeah.
You know, whether you liked Venom or not, there was definitely an age group that was targeting. More than others, and I think that if I was that age, I would have liked that movie probably a little bit more than I did. Which I like that movie, by the way. I thought it was a little hard. People were a little hard on it, but, you know, I could see why. So, I mean, but not Deadpool, okay? Just don't take Deadpool again from me. Every time they do something with Deadpool, they make him a little bit worse for me. Every time. A little part of me just a little part just dies.
This could be the biggest problem with the Disney and Fox deal. This really could be a complete issue. And I will say, I'm not gonna be that guy to say Disney isn't gonna Disney-fy this. Now,
I mean,
I thought they weren't gonna do it. I was defending Disney first.
Yep.
I was like, hey, they're not gonna Disney-fy this. Like, Bob Iger already said, hey, we're not gonna touch Deadpool or anything like this. Now I'm seeing this. It's before my eyes. It's right here, and there's a big PG-13 rating right down there. If I see this movie and it feels a little more Disney, I'm gonna call it out.
Yeah,
100%. I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna be like, they're Disney-fying the hell out of this thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, and if they do that, that's just a shame.
Yeah.
I know Marvel could do a great job with the PG-13 Deadpool. I'm not going to say that they couldn't, but I think the best way to do it is to have Deadpool's standalone movies rated R.
Yeah.
But then bring him into the MCU and have him in the background or something like that.
I don't want him in the MCU. I really like.
Well, say that the X-Men are though.
Again, but we've had this conversation before. I like the X-Men. I like the X-Men out of the MCU. One of my biggest problems with Marvel,
they're not going to be
like the Marvel universe as it is, even in the comics, is that there are X-Men, and then there are superheroes. But yet people are uncomfortable with X-Men. But they're okay with superheroes. They're just uncomfortable with X-Men. Like, to me, it's just like the whole dynamic is lost there. Like, oh, people don't like mutants, but we're okay with, the Hulk. It's like, what? What? What logic is that?
Well,
and I think in the movie
Hulk,
standpoint, like, X-Men are just way better in their own category. So I don't, like I said, I want them separate. I don't want them to be conjoined. So all of this to me is just bad news.
We haven't seen the X-Men in the MCU yet, you know?
Sure.
We haven't seen that.
True.
And
True.
we have seen it in the comic books, and I have to say, I love it when I see a Wolverine and you got, like, say, Captain America, or I even said it in my video today that I just put up a couple minutes ago. This is literally an hour after my Deadpool review, or Daredevil Season 3 review came out. If we could see a Wolverine and Daredevil team up, I'd be cool with that.
That's a pretty good idea.
I think that'd be really cool.
That's a pretty good idea.
You know?
Yeah.
I'd like to see something like that.
I want to see Cyclops more, honestly.
Yeah, Cyclops. Yeah. Put him in the front of the team.
That's what they're probably going to do. Some Cyclops concept art the other day, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad you like Cyclops. Not a lot of people do.
Well,
But those are usually people that only see the movies and don't read any of the comic books, which is fine. But read the comics.
He is cool.
But yeah, like that's the whole Deadpool thing. Of course, we could go on all night about this. And for our next topic, we're going to be talking about some Avengers 4 screen time, like run time for the whole movie, and then also an Infinity War alternate ending that was teased. So let's get into the screen time first, and it's reportedly right now by the Russo brothers that Avengers 4 has a cut of about 3 hours. Now remember, this is still being edited and everything, so it's probably not going to be a 3-hour movie, but they're still putting all the VFX in there, and like they're still, I'm pretty sure they're done reshoots. So Quinn, what do you think about this? Do you think that it's too long, or it's just right? It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because honestly, and we were talking about this earlier, how Avengers Infinity War is actually really long, but doesn't feel long at all. You know what I mean? Like, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes, but you don't notice it when you're watching that film. So, to be honest with you, 3 hours to me sounds like a really long movie, but with the way the last one went, I know that I will watch that movie contently all the way through. I'll sit there for 3 hours and I'll enjoy it, and I'll probably do it 4 times that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of exciting to hear that it's 3 hours long because, the more the merrier, obviously. And this is a movie that I will sit through, and I feel like can be 3 hours long. So I don't mind this. It is kind of like something that I don't think is going to stick, though. I feel like it's probably going to get edited down, and it's probably going to be closer to the Avengers Infinity War runtime in the end. I really doubt that it's going to stay at 30 minutes, because even Avengers Infinity War, if you've seen the deleted scenes, like, they didn't really have to cut those scenes, and they're not really that long. I mean, they're decently sized scenes, especially like the Chris Pratt scenes, or the Star-Lord scenes and all that kind of stuff. But you could tell that they wanted to get it at a certain time, and that's why they cut out a lot of these scenes. So I definitely feel like 3 hours is not going to be the official runtime.
Yeah, I mean, 3 hours is, the first, we just looked it up actually before the podcast. Infinity War came in at about 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I see this one coming in like 250, honestly.
Yeah,
it's going to be close.
Max.
It's going to be very close to, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which is, it's ridiculous to think that. But man.
You'll watch
it.
it.
How could it not be?
You will watch it.
How could it not be?
It's not
I'll watch the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not like, Ant-Man. Like, imagine a 3-hour Ant-Man movie. Like, you'd be like, what the...
No way.
End this thing already.
Even a Captain America movie.
Even a Captain America movie. You'd be like, end this already. Even Wolf of Wall Street, which is a phenomenal movie. You're at one point you're at that movie and you're like, is this going to end anytime soon? Like, wrap it up here. Like, what the hell's the point of this movie at one point?
Just keeps going.
It really does drag on, but Avengers Infinity War doesn't drag on at all. And it's weird because it's like that's the number one thing. Like even a very famous movie that is famous for its being long as well as Lawrence of Arabia. That movie drags on, and it's one of the best movies of all time. It drags on. There are some scenes that are just take forever, and it's just oh my god, end it already. But it's worth the watch. Avengers it doesn't drag on, and that's probably one of the most miraculous things about it. Looking back. Like, I'll watch that whole thing through. Easily.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think people are going to be like, oh, it's too long. Most comic book fans are going to be like, oh, my God, that's too short. I want to sit there all day and watch it, and I'd be totally for that. But, it's like, I really do wish that it's just so hard to say because we haven't seen anything. We haven't even seen a trailer yet.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what this movie's going to be about. Nobody does. Everybody's guessing with their theories. No matter how many times people say leak, we don't know if it's a true leak until we actually see the movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't know if there's going to be, the villain's just going to be Thanos. We don't know if there's going to be some secret villain. We don't know if there's, which I doubt it, but, there could be.
We don't know if the Black Order is going to return or something like that.
Yeah, like anything could happen. Anything can possibly happen.
It's true.
But,
there's a lot of ways that this movie can go.
Yeah, I will sit there for 3 hours and I will watch this entire movie if that's what it ends up being. But right now, being the cut so many months out.
So many, yeah. It's so unlikely.
It's not going to be 3 hours.
Definitely not. No, I very much doubt it. I think they'll shoot for something in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I see it. Which is, I guess it's, overall, it's good news that they have all this stuff and all this footage, Because, if they came out and said, Avengers is probably going to be less time than Infinity War, it's a little bit like, really? Maybe. Because the thing is, that the only thing I worry about Infinity War is that it's going to be so much of this next movie is just going to be, summing up Infinity War. Almost like it's just Infinity War Part 2, the conclusion, the third act. That's not what you want. You want this to be a whole new production. So hearing that it's going to be just as long, if not longer, means that it's not just going to be the missing third act of Infinity War. It's actually going to be its own story, its own tale with its own story arc in it, and all that kind of stuff. So I guess overall that's probably good news, even if you're somebody who doesn't like the runtime of Infinity War and you thought it was too long and you thought there was too much going on with it, which you're a very small minority of people.
Yeah, extremely small.
You don't want to go into this movie with that knowing okay, you're just going to be finishing up that last movie that you made.
Yeah, and, there was a thing that I saw today on Twitter as well. So many things on Twitter I'm forgetting about. That Captain Marvel, there was an official page somewhere. I don't know what it was. But it was actually Marvel Studios, or the Russo brothers that said this. And it said that Captain Marvel is the key in Avengers Infinity War. Or Avengers 4. Or she's the key Avenger.
Do you honestly,
the Avengers need.
Do you believe that? Or is that just them hyping up Captain Marvel so people go into the theater and see it?
I'll be honest with you, I really hope she's
Because if you're Marvel, right, you're trying to sell this character Captain Marvel, which...
That's what I feel
Let's be honest, guys. She's not as popular as the other guys. She's a very new character. She's only been around for...
Her trailer got a lot of views, man.
But all Marvel movies get a lot of views.
Oh, no. But, seriously, I actually was just looking at it the other day.
Yeah.
Pretty sure she got close to Captain America Civil War number of views on a trailer, and that's actually very good.
No, that's a very good sign, but I think that with Marvel, like, they're only getting bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Marvel now is bigger than Marvel was at Civil War. So anytime, like, oh, a new Marvel movie's coming out, like, people are going to watch the trailer. And more people are going to watch the trailer. So I'm not going to put, you know, like, all I'm trying to say is that, like, okay, maybe they're putting so much on Captain Marvel so that people will be more interested in the movie because she's not a very big character. She's not super popular, you know, at least not right now. I'm sure after the movie comes out, all the Captain Marvel fans are going to come out of the woodworks. I've been a fan of her for years, and all this stuff, and we're going to hear, you know, I'm a huge Captain Marvel fan. You know, we're going to get all the bandwagoners. Oh my
god, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, we're going to get it all over again, guys, which, you know, it's fine. The more the merrier, I say, when it comes to people joining up in the comic book world. But I'm not really convinced, and I've heard a lot of these rumors too, that like, oh, Captain Marvel is the key. And to me, like, I don't want one character to be the reason. Like, could you imagine that movie and it's...
Yeah, exactly. I totally
You know what I
agree
mean?
with you. This is what I think actually the problem was with the first Avengers, and there's not many problems with the first Avengers, but in all Phase 1 and Avengers Age of Ultron, I felt like it was all about Tony Stark, and that's what it was.
Like, you don't want that
and
to
I think
happen
that is
again.
a huge problem.
So I don't think the Russo brothers are those kind of directors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they said that's a specific reason why they didn't bring in Adam Warlock. They didn't want some dude just coming in, like, everybody looks to him and it's like, hey, you fix this problem, and then he just saves the day.
Yeah, which is one of the...
If she's the key, man, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
I don't want to see, like, you just made this whole movie about Thanos being the central figure, and then you're going to make another movie like, oh, no, it's this new girl you've never heard of. She's the central figure. She's had one.
She will have a movie like what 2 months and
2 months.
But that's the thing.
But
she only has one movie.
Yeah,
like,
all these other characters have so much more invested behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to have like this kind of person. And I mean, like, you know, this is always like the rookie argument. Like, oh, you know, the rookie's gonna come in and shook everything up. Like this is something as old as time. I don't mind that she's gonna come in and be super powerful and stuff. But if she comes in,
I don't care about that.
And goes toe to toe with Thanos by herself just like that. Like I'm gonna be like, yo, where were you in the first movie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's with this crap?
I mean, they have to have a big reason. You know, like that has to be something that's very much explained.
Yeah, like that's gotta be
Captain Marvel and Avengers 4.
Because if she was the
also,
key all along, like how have we not heard about her? In all of our experience, like we have the Guardians and Thor. Like Thor must have heard of her. You know what I mean? If she's the big key.
And Thor. The thing is, too, you know, I'm really thinking about this Avengers 4 movie, and I'm really looking at one big thing, and that's Thor almost took out Thanos
by himself
with the Infinity Gauntlet by himself. Now you're having Captain Marvel, who's supposed to be even more powerful than Thor.
Right.
And you're going to add on all the Avengers United. And you're going to have Hulk in there. How is Thanos stand a chance? You know, I'm going to be the one
without the Infinity Gauntlet?
Not even like with it.
I mean, with it, like
how does he stand a chance?
With it, he is.
Thor took him on, and you know the same guy made Stormbreaker. He obviously put something in it where it's like, okay, well this is more powerful than the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
It went through a beam. The beam.
That's true.
You know, but like, I don't know how you could make, because it's not like Eitri made the Infinity Stones. He made the Gauntlet.
Right.
So I don't know how they're going to do that. But, you know, you got a lot of explaining with that, too. Because it's like you just basically said that the Stormbreaker hammer is stronger than the Infinity Gauntlet. So there's either another big, greater villain in this movie, or you just kind of said, hey, Captain Marvel's coming, she's going to be more powerful. Then Thanos is done. This is an easy movie.
And it's not going to be interesting.
Yeah. Like, I think they... with Infinity War, how great it was, and don't get me wrong, Infinity War is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, but you got a lot of explaining to do
so much
with a lot of this stuff.
So much.
Because Kevin Feige's saying she's more powerful. She can move planets, I've heard. She can move planets?
Here's the thing, and I want to know about your opinion of this. As somebody who's really knows Marvel and knows all these movies, what do you think is the source of her power that makes her so powerful? Because in the comics...
Oh, it's Quantum Realm.
You think it's the Quantum Realm?
It's Quantum Realm. That's already confirmed, yeah. It's Quantum Realm energy.
What?
Quantum Realm is going to play a huge part in this Avengers 4 movie. That's what a lot of people are saying, and honestly, I do believe that 100%. I think the Quantum Realm is going to play a huge part, and her energy on her, like in that trailer when she's like getting fired up and everything, that's supposed to be similar to Quantum Realm energy. So,
really,
it's, you know, like that's it. So it's either going to be the exact same thing or similar. You know,
that's interesting.
I'm okay with that.
I think that's
cool,
interesting.
But
but
you just gotta.
I don't really think that I don't know. It'd be weird for me to say like the Quantum Realm to be more powerful than the Infinity Stones and the Gauntlet and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the thing about the Infinity Gauntlet in the comic books is that the Infinity Gauntlet only affects our universe. So if you go to a different dimension, it does not affect anything in that dimension unless it's there.
Right.
But then you can't affect other dimensions when you're only in this universe. You know what I mean? You can't cross them.
Right.
You can only... It's when you're actually there, then you can do stuff.
Okay.
So it's like... You know, so if you're in the Quantum Realm and Thanos isn't...
You're safe.
Nothing's going to happen.
Safe.
Yeah. But then if he gets there, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So it's a funny thing that they're going to do. But, you know, I just think that there is a lot of things that they got to answer. Because... Man, they did make Thanos look a little less powerful than what he's supposed to be. Captain Marvel, I don't like the whole thing that she's going to be the key. I think you and I are on the same page. I don't like the idea that she's going to be the key and she's going to be saving, because I have a bad feeling about it, but I think Marvel's going to do fine. They always
It's true. We're doubting them,
so.
But we have no cause to doubt them. Over the years, they've never disappointed us.
I'm just assuming that, you know, Captain Marvel is going to save the day, and if she does, I'll be pretty disappointed with
I
the
really
movie.
will be.
But
it's just like I've never been a huge. I mean, you know, honestly, if she does that, I'm just gonna scream Shazam in the theaters as loud as my on top of my lungs. When she shows up for the first time in Avengers 4, top of my lungs, Shazam, just loud as I can. I hate all of them.
Yeah. There you go. But then, you know, there is one more thing that we'll talk about very quickly. So. There's always an art book that comes out for every single Marvel movie. They always do this, and it's called The Art of, say, Infinity War. That is the new book that came out, and it showed an alternate ending where in the Battle of Wakanda, not only just Thor was the one to put the axe into Thanos and, like, try to stop him from snapping his fingers. Instead, it shows Hulk is there with Black Panther, Captain America, Black Widow. I'm pretty sure War Machine, Groot were in there as well. And Thor is sticking the axe into Thanos, but he still snaps his fingers. But it's like all of them are holding him back.
Yeah.
I understand why they took it out of the movie, but man, I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see all the Avengers trying to stop him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it is something that I would have rather seen as opposed to what happened. Again, like, I understand, like, okay, they already did it on Titan. So it'd be really redundant for the same thing to happen twice. But I would have much rather have seen this than that like weird scene at the end where he's like just barely. Like, think about it like this: what if this happened before he gets the Mind Stone, and like, or like when he gets the Mind Stone, like they all grab him. Like as soon as he gets the Mind Stone, then Thor jumps on him. They all jump him, and even with all their collective might, they can't stop him from snapping their fingers. To me, that's a way better way of ending it off than, oh, by the way, this special hammer, rock beats paper, you know, it's just better than that thing. Because like you said, it makes him seem like, you know, he's out of luck. Like, there's nothing he can do. Because this thing didn't just... The hammer didn't... And you were saying this earlier. It didn't just go through, like, a stone or the stones. It went through... the full might of the Infinity Gauntlet, the full spectrum of all the powers.
Yeah.
Like what have we seen that's done that?
You know, I've seen a lot of people discuss this too, and they say, "Well, it didn't go through the Infinity Gauntlet." That doesn't matter. It isn't the Infinity Gauntlet metal. It isn't like the metal in the Infinity Gauntlet. It is the stones, the power of the stones. All of the stones being used on one hammer. That should be enough to
think about
completely
all
destroy
these
that
movies
hammer.
we've
But
seen.
of course,
What has stood up to the power of the Infinity Stones to this point? Nothing.
Nothing. Not even a planet. They showed a planet getting destroyed by
the only
one
thing
stone.
that survived was the Guardians of the Galaxy because Star-Lord is an elder of the universe.
Yeah, true.
But that was it, and that was a huge thing, and it was explained, and it was this great, huge storyline. But and he didn't even control it. He just withstood the power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like even the minds. Yeah.
We're probably looking way too into this.
True. I'm just saying that like I would have rather seen this than what we got. But I think for this,
I agree. Take out the Titan one.
Yeah.
And do
but
this.
for the story wise, I think the
better
Titan
idea.
one made more sense.
Yeah. But the thing is, you know, like both endings, don't get me wrong, the ending of Infinity War, like still how they did it with Thor and everything, especially with Thor, because Thor had one of the best parts of the whole movie. I love what they did with Thor. So I'm really happy that he was the dude that, you know, he didn't go for the head. I love that whole, like, you know, that whole thing. But, you know, I will say, I do wish that they did this instead. But that'll do it for this episode of the Webhead Podcast. We do thank you guys very much for tuning in. Quinn, do you have anything to say before we let the good people go?
I don't have much to say this way, guys, but thank you so much for continuing to watch us. We really do appreciate it. We have a lot of fun doing these, and we hope you have a lot of fun watching these. Let us know in the comments below what you think of all these things. Are you guys excited to see Aquaman? Do you think Thanos stands a chance? Is Captain Marvel really the key? Let us know about all the topics that we talked about today. We love hearing back from you guys, and we love that you guys get involved. Also, tell us below what you're most excited for on the Disney streaming service. Which series, which show is going to be your big ticket?
Heck yeah. But thank you all very much for watching. We very much appreciate it. Bye-bye.